Please read this disclaimer carefully before proceeding further. Hello traders, welcome back to Indices Analysis Update. Thanks for joining me here. My name is Vic. We had a very good week on indices last week. We were able to short US30, S&P 500 and Nasdaq. And so in this update, we are going to see what can happen next. I've already posted my analysis on DXY, but just to reiterate what I've said there is this. The market is actually finding its footing around here. So this FCP zone, if you remember, I think in November or December, I was telling you about this level here, which is 89.89 level. And this is the level which the market has been holding so far on monthly time frame. So I'm expecting DXY to rise up ultimately. There can be ups and downs here and there, but I'm expecting it to rise. And if that is the case, then it can impact indices as well. And not just like in indices, it can impact other asset classes as well. So if I go to the daily time frame and show you what we are looking at, is this. If the market actually closes beyond this blue line and this yellow line, this particular zone basically, then we are looking for near about 91.9 or 92 area. It can also go to the upper FCP zone. Remember, there are a couple of gaps around here which are not visible here on TradingView, but they're available on other broker feeds. So you'll be able to find them here, and they can be filled once the market has started to move. So here we have a W pattern which can form, and we have an M pattern which can form. If the blue line, which is 90.046 level, is broken, then we are looking for near about level of 89.5 or 89.4, near about that level. But ultimately, in coming weeks, the DXY is supposed to go higher. That's what I'm looking at. Okay, so if that is the case, let's look at DXY on the water and visage system as well. So on weekly time frame, if you remember last week, we had an early warning that the color was changing from red to green, which was showing us that the market was turning bullish. So this is the early warning. Then we also had the color change on water wave, which is from red to blue. That was also showing that the market was expected to go up. And the previous bearish target here, this one, has already reached its profit target. So once the profit target has reached, market usually tries to take a breather, it tries to either go sideways or tries to change the direction of it. Remember, the water curve is still showing us a bearish move because this color is red. So that does not mean that the market cannot actually move towards it, because you see, whenever the price actually goes away from the water curve, it tries to come back to it, and that has been happening. So what we are expecting is that if the market actually starts to move upwards, first of all, we might get a green arrow here, and that is quite a possibility next week if the market finds enough bullish momentum. And we also expect that if the market starts to move up, then it will probably come back to retest this water curve, which is near about 94 right now. But because this is also dynamic support and resistance, it may change its direction, it may change its location a little bit. So that can happen. If I go to the daily time frame, what we have here is that market is struggling to break through this water curve, because water curve is a strong support and resistance line, and it is turning into bearish mode now. And that is why I was saying that there is a case that market may form this M pattern. This is not confirmed yet. It's kind of like an early warning, but you see, there are mixed signals at the moment, and that is why we must wait whether market starts to go up or down from here, because it's a mixed signal right at the moment. The color is red at the bottom and the color is blue at this level, but we see that we already had a bullish signal here. So market can come to 91.37 here, or even higher, which is near about 91.4 or even higher, because as I said, on higher time frame, if the market starts to move upwards, then it can reach near about 91.92 area or so. Okay, so that's a daily time frame. If I go to the 4-hour time frame, what we have here is that the market is actually going sideways, and it has been providing us very good opportunities with W and M patterns. There is a W pattern here, and we had very good short opportunity. This was the profit target. Then we had another W pattern. This was the profit target if you had taken a long from here, and then after that market fell down, and this is probably going to be the short target for this signal that we have. So it is going sideways. So if you are thinking of actually taking position or like in a swing trade, then you need to wait for the market to give you a good clear indication. What we saw on here, it needs to show you that it has broken through this line of 90.99, or it has started to show that it has broken through this 90.046, and then you should be able to take swing trade. That's not what I mean, like in a position trade or something like that. If you are on 4 hour, then you can play this as W&M patterns here, but a clear direction will only be available to you once this range has been broken, this sideways movement has been broken. Okay, so that's what we have on DXY. Let's start looking at US30. So first of all, let's go to US30. Okay, so US30 is this. US30 is Dow Jones, and this is what we had. Right, so if you remember, I mentioned this in my previous analysis, that we had an early warning that what I was telling us that the market could go down, there could be a sell-off coming, and I posted this on various social media channels. I posted it on LinkedIn first, which was near about 2.5 weeks ago, and since the market has been falling down, and I expect it to continue to fall down even further, but there can be a little bit of pullbacks here, because I'm not sure whether you can spot this, but there is an M pattern forming, and when M pattern completes, the market is expected to go up. So there can be a little bit of pullback up, but I'm still expecting it to go down, because this is red and the water wave has also turned red. So that's why this is on weekly. If I come to the daily time frame, it has been able to reach its profit target on the short. So this target has been reached, and this target for this signal is still available around near about 29,313, near about that level. And if I draw Fibonacci on it, what you will notice that this confluences very nicely with 38.2 Fib retracement automatically. So if the market finds enough bearish momentum next week, then we are expecting near about this level to be reached, and once it has reached, then we will continue to see what is expected. Remember, the market is still, the water curve is still blue, so it is still bullish, the entire momentum is still bullish. So there can be pullbacks, right? Pretty much like this. There was a pullback here, but market recovered because of this signal, and there can be another pullback. So you need to be careful. If you are shorting this, then you need to be careful about pullbacks on this. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. On 4-hour time frame, we had a very nice signal here, and that's why the market is still falling. So if I look at it, this is the 4-hour target now. This 4-hour target is also coinciding with daily target. Remember that daily target is at near about 38.2, and that is also coinciding with this 4-hour target. And on here, the water curve is showing that it has turned into bearish. You see, it has been bullish for a long time now, and this is the first time it has turned into bearish, and that is why it is telling you that the market is expected to go down. So let's look at it on the charts here. On US30, these are the levels which we are looking at, and if you remember, this is the level that we have been monitoring. So the market created this double top and also created this M pattern, which pushed the price upwards, and now it is continuing further down. But there is another M pattern which is forming, and that is why I'm warning you about a little bit of pullback here, but it is expected to fall further down, and it is expected to clear this entire bad behavior that we have. So these levels are still forming very nicely, and if you remember, I've been mentioning this since November. If you look at the 12-month time frame, this is how the 2020 actually ended, as a hammer candle. So in 2021, it is expected to be bearish. It started as a bullish month, but now it is turning into bearish, and I'm expecting it to continue as a bearish movement, as a bearish candle in 2021. There can be pullbacks, obviously, and the market can also change the entire direction as well, but just by looking at the candlestick structure, it is expected to fall, and that's what I've been mentioning since November 2020. Okay, so that's US30. Let's look at S&P 500. So if I come here and change it to weekly and come to S&P 500. Now US30 and S&P 500 usually, like, they work in sync. So if US30 is falling, then S&P 500 is also going to fall. It is similar kind of thing. We did not have actually early warning on S&P 500. Now it has an early warning, and that is why I was like, focusing on US30 first, because things start to happen there first, because it consists of 30 companies instead of like 500 companies. So the market has started to show an engulfing bearish candle on US 500. That means that the market is expected to fall down further down, but there can be pullback, and what a trend has turned into red, and what a wave is turning into red, and I'm expecting that market is continue to fall down at least to this level, previous structure level, this level here, and then if it finds enough bearish momentum, then continue to fall to this level as well. If I go to the daily time frame, on daily time frame again, we were able to we are near about this level, so 3680 level is about to be reached as a profit target, and for this signal the next profit target is going to be 3604, near about that. And if I draw Fibonacci on this leg, this entire leg, this also comes around near about that 38.2. so it is kind of like following the same structure as US30 Dow Jones. So if I come to the 4-hour time frame, again similar to US30, this we have got a signal which is going through the 23.6 web level, and now it is going to coincide. The target is near about 38.2, which is 3624, and that confluences nicely with the target of daily time frame as well. So this is looking like a very good opportunity if you can get involved in this. And if you go to the 4-hour time frame, once again, this was your signal. This red arrow is your signal. The initial signal actually came here, which was very strong, and you can see the water curve, which used to be blue here, has turned into red now, and that is showing that the market conditions are changing. They're turning bearish now. Okay, so let's look at US30, US 500, S&P 500 on here. So if I just close this again, going back to the monthly time frame, this is similar to what we had before, and this is what I've been telling you again since November 2020, that the market will try to turn into a bearish candle. And if I look at the monthly time frame, what we have here is that we have this kind of like structure. In the last week's analysis, if you remember, I mentioned that this candlestick structure was telling me that the market could actually fall back down, and that's what's happening right now. On weekly time frame, we have this engulfing candle, very nice engulfing candle, which is actually falling down. If I go to the daily time frame, this is a very strong candle which has formed. There was an M pattern, and that is why the market went up, and now it is forming another M pattern. So you'll have to be careful, like there can be pullbacks, and this can actually provide you with very good long opportunities as well. So if you know where to take the long from, and you can actually do that, but you'll have to be careful on both sides, because if the market is falling down and if you're taking longs, then you should not go for extended profit targets. So that's what we have here. If I look at the levels that we have, so we had this level of 3,840, and that's where the market has found its resistance right there. If I just remove this, okay, this is the level that we have been looking at. The next level was supposed to be 3,980. So we still have these levels available, and if the market conditions change, then these levels are still going to be important. But if the market continues to fall down, then we're looking at 3,597, near about that from this analysis, and that coincides with the previous structure here, and next level is coinciding with 3,400, near about that structure. So that's what we have on S&P 500. Let's look at Nasdaq now. So if I come back and change it to weekly and look at Nasdaq, so this is Nasdaq. This can be completely different in your broker platform, but this is Nasdaq. It shows like in a US Nasdaq 100 spot index, so that's what it is. On Nasdaq, this is already bearish here on weekly time frame. This is overextension that has been happening. It was just like trying to drag its week upwards. It was supposed to fall at some point in time, and that's what's happening right now. But look at the previous candle here. This is also very strong bullish candle, and it is being followed by a kind of like, it is not an engulfing candle, it is more like piercing candle, not piercing but dark cloud cover. I'm terrible with these candle names, but it is forming another bearish strong candle. But so far we do not have any color change on water wave. So Nasdaq, as compared to US30 and US500, this is still a little bit bullish, so you have to be careful with that. Last bullish signal which appeared around here has reached its profit target very nicely around here at 13,182, and there is still a case that it can go all the way to 14,000 as well, but for now what we see is that it is forming a bearish candle, and we will have to watch it next week. If we find better confirmations here, like when the water curve water trend color changes, sorry, not water trend but water wave color changes to red, then we will have better chances of actually going for short opportunities if you are looking for position trading. If you go to the daily time frame, on daily time frame we already have a signal here. The last bullish signal was able to reach its profit target. The market is still bullish, the water curve is still blue, and so far the market has not tested the water curve. So the first thing that we need to see if it actually goes and tests this, because water curve also acts as support and resistance. So if whenever the market will come to near about 12,780 level, near about that level, I'm expecting an upward move, and this can happen on the touch of it. If the market actually breaks through this, then the next target, profit target, is going to be around this level, which is 12,466, 12,460, just to be a little bit accurate, and then followed by this one, which is going to be 12,058. So that's what we have here. If I go back to the weekly and draw fib on it, let's see what we come up with, and come back on daily. What we see that this one is kind of like it's near about in the same area as 38.2, and the next one is near about in the same area as 61.8. so that is quite a possibility, but it will have to go through this 12,800 and 780 level where we have water curve. So it will be very interesting to watch it on watch it next week. 4-hour time frame, we had very nice short trade here, which reached its profit target, this white dot, and we also had another one which is possibly going to bring it down to 38.2, and that coincides with the previous analysis on daily time frame as well. So all these indices are looking very good, but Nasdaq is still kind of like bullish. It may have like little bullish opportunity. Others also can have pullbacks, but I'm expecting them to be more bearish than Nasdaq for now. Okay, let's look at it here. So Nasdaq here. Now we identified these levels here last time, and 13,594 is the level which has acted as resistance, and the market has started to fall from there, and this is how it is looking right now. So we also have these levels, so not much there. We have already covered it in the water analysis, so that's what we have. Shall we look at one more? Okay, let's look at DAX Germany 30, right? So Germany 30 DAX, right? On DAX similar sort of story is there, but there are few differences here. One is that there is a W pattern, so this is looking actually even more bearish, because we have this proper W pattern which is not even like highly extended. So what we can do is, I'll just clean this up. Okay, so far we haven't actually got a color change on the water trend at the bottom. That shows that it is still bullish for now, but as soon as the color changes, then it will turn into bearish mode. However, if you just inspect here, water wave is already changing the color. It has turned into red, and now this candle is a bearish engulfing candle, so I'm expecting it to fall further down. If I go to the daily time frame, this is what we have. We had a signal, and it has reached its profit target. Water curve acted as a support, and we had a bullish candle, and now it is falling. It is already bearish on there. So if I draw Fibonacci on this leg, what we have here is that it is struggling with 23.6, and as soon as that is cleared, we are looking for near about 38.2. and if I go to the 4-hour time frame, let's see if we got any signal there. So far there is no bearish signal and there is a gap left, so market may actually go back up to fill that gap. And here we had a bearish signal which has reached its profit target. So far there is no bearish signal, so if this gap gets filled or if we get a bearish signal, then we can look for something like 38.2 level to be reached. So this is our analysis for this week for indices. Hope you found this useful and educational. If you did, hit the like button and leave a comment at the bottom of the video. This is going to help us a lot in YouTube algorithm. By pressing like button and sending us a comment, you are actually helping us to reach out to many more traders who are also going to get benefited from this video. Right, so I'll see you in the next one. Have a good trading week. If you're interested in learning how to analyze the markets the way I do using Fibonacci Confluence, then head over to vikinsa.com, and under training section you'll be able to see Core Strategy Training Program. On this page you'll be able to see the testimonials of previous students and also look at the brochure. The brochure has a lot more information including the course structure and the Fibonacci Confluence Training Program curriculum. This is a very extensive program in which we cover basic core Fibonacci concepts along with the advanced concepts to analyze the markets with high probability. If you're interested in joining this program, come to vikinsa.com, and under training section you'll be able to see and submit this form.